Hello, 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 everyone. It is me, Stacy, with an EY, coming to you on this Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, with another Microburst. This is Microburst number 6. And for this month, the month of March, the topic is issue, challenge, problem. And so last week, I helped to define the differences between an issue, a challenge, and a problem. So I'll do a quick recap of that. And then I also went into talking about the definition of an issue and how to address issues so that we can continue to move forward before they turn into a challenge or a problem. So this week I'm going to talk specifically about a challenge. I think that I subtitled this. I don't know what I subtitled it, but I have on my piece of paper that I wrote, challenging times. So as you all know, we are living in some very challenging times. So I want to talk about how to overcome challenges. Okay, so quickly, and I apologize, my voice is going in and out. I was at a concert last night. I was shouting, I was screaming, I was having the best time of my life. So I think my voice is tired because I sang along with every song last night as well. So anyway, to recap, last week, we talked about an issue, a challenge, and a problem, and defining those. And an issue is having a difficulty or disagreement that creates just a little bit of discomfort, and we address issues. The next one is challenge, and a challenge is an obstacle or something new or unexpected, which requires some effort, but minimal effort to overcome. And so that's what we do with the challenge. We overcome a challenge. And then last but not least is a problem, which is a situation or something, a situation with a person or with people that requires you to be able to work through it in order to move forward and have productivity. It typically will create some stagnation or it will stunt you in your tracks if you don't get it resolved or if you don't solve it. And so, of course, that's how we handle a problem is we solve and or resolve it. So issue, we address, a challenge, we overcome, and a problem, we solve or resolve. Now, I want to talk today about how to overcome challenges. And I want you for just a split second to think about previous challenges or a challenge that you may currently be facing that you have to overcome or that you are attempting to overcome. Because in all honesty, a challenge you don't have to overcome. You can leave it as a challenge. It's going to turn into a problem. But, it's nice to try and work through a challenge so that you can overcome it. But I want you to think about a challenge that you have right now. I have a challenge right now. It's not quite a problem, but I have a challenge that I think this is my 4th week now. I keep having this consistent heartburn that won't go away. I don't know why it's not going away. It'll, kind of diminish temporarily, but then it comes right back up. And so for like right now, I've had nothing to eat today yet. And part of the reason I've eaten nothing is because I have this challenge with heartburn. And so all of the remedies that I'm trying are not working, including the medication that I take every day. So that's a challenge, but it's not a problem because it becomes a problem when it's chronic and it does not go away. Right now, it's just acute. So that's my little medical terminology that I got from the doctor's office. At any rate, what I need to do to overcome that is continue to try different things. Again, it's a discomfort. It's not halting me. It's not keeping me from doing the things that I need to do, but I am aware that it's there. I think last week I used an example of a biblical story about the thorn in your side. So, and that's what this heartburn feels like for me right now. It feels like a thorn in my side. I'm aware it's there, but it's not keeping me from doing the things that I need to do in my daily activities. That's what a challenge is. So how do we overcome challenges? Well, the first thing is I have my notes that I wrote down to be able to speak to so that I can stay on time and stay on task with speaking on this particular subject, but I'm getting ready to mix it up. The very first one that I think is most important is to shift your mindset. Oftentimes we look at challenges as something horrible instead of looking at them as opportunities for change or opportunities for shifts. And so I think if you shift your mindset to look at the positive side of a challenge, what you're going to gain from it as a result of going through it, what you're going to learn and develop, how you'll be able to help someone else, And then also, when challenges come, they're to make us stronger. Think about them like a workout. They come to make us stronger. They come to help us to be able to reflect on how far we've come, and also keep us humble and how far we still have to go in this journey called life. So shift your mindset. Perspective really changes the outlook on how you tackle a challenge. Also, I say it all the time that mindset is everything. And I say that not as a cliche. I say it because I believe it and it's true. If you shift your mindset, you will tackle things a whole lot differently because you have a broader perspective about what you're dealing with. So that's going to be number one. The second one is break it down into smaller bite-sized steps. I call them micro bites, not a microburst like what I'm doing now, but a micro bite. A microbite is when you look at something not in its totality because it can become or seem overwhelming. But if you look at it like, what can I tackle right now? Okay, so this is what's in front of me. This is the obstacle. This is the hurdle. Again, think about challenges as far as the mindset of a race. When you're running a race, and I used to run track in high school, sort of. I did run track in high school. Let me not say that. I ran track in high school. But one of the things that we had to deal with was not just one hurdle. When we were running, there were multiple hurdles. So that's what a challenge is. It is one hurdle at a time in whatever you're trying to progress towards. So think about jumping that hurdle and overcoming that obstacle until you get to the next one. When you break them down into smaller pieces like that, it makes it a lot more palatable to tackle that challenge versus, again, getting overwhelmed. And speaking of breaking them down into smaller bite-sized pieces, focus on only those things that you can control. If you have a challenge and it's dealing with other people, you can't control other people, so don't try to. You can't. You can't change people. Lord knows I've tried, but I broke my magic wand and had to put it in the shop because I kept trying to wave it to change people, and it got tired and broke and overused. Don't try to change people. Change yourself in the situation because you only have control over you. Change those other things that are in the situation that you can change that will help to shift your perspective, because all of these things, these tools and tips that I'm giving you work together. So shift your mindset, focus on only those things that you can control. And then the next one is stay adaptive. You got to be flexible. If you are stringent and uptight, your challenge is going to remain a challenge, which, by the way, side note, the challenge is your challenge, not everybody else's challenge. And so through the Tree of Humanity, the program and the tool that I created and that I also trademarked, one of the things that I teach is how to trace your tree. You've got to be adaptive and flexible and open to your self-interrogation. What's going on with me? What am I feeling right now? What just triggered me? What just got activated? What human condition was just tapped into? What do I believe? What is the narrative that's going through my head? What meaning have I assigned to this situation that is creating this challenge for me? How am I showing up? What is my disposition like? Do I need to change my tone? All of those things are part of a challenge that are yours, not somebody else's. So you have to take ownership that the challenge really is yours and not somebody else. And you've got to be flexible and adaptive to go through that self-interrogation so that you can begin to shift in that challenge so that you can overcome it. Again, it may involve other people, but it's not other people's challenge. It really is yours. If it is somebody else's challenge, you can't change that. So don't try. Another one, and this is a really good one. Oftentimes we suffer in silence, whereas we have a support system. Tap into your support system. I have no problem making a phone call. Hey, girl, hey, let me tell you what I'm going through now. And having someone to just bounce the information off of will help me oftentimes come to my own revelation about whatever the challenge is. I always say, and I teach in all of my training classes, that revelation leads to resolution. If something can be revealed and they're out in the open, then you can say, I can see this clearly. You're looking at it through a different lens, and you can begin to resolve it, right? So revelation leads to resolution, and you get to revelation by using your support system, having other people that you can tap into. If I can't talk to a girlfriend, and some things I don't want to, I just go to my husband and I'm like, listen, is it me? Help me out with this. And as we talk through it, then I'm like, okay, yeah, the challenge is me because of what I'm believing or what I'm thinking or what I'm holding on to from a previous experience that has nothing to do with this one. And so I'm able to work through and overcome that challenge as a result. Last but not least, I think this is the last one. Yeah, last but not least, tap into your resources. I am one of those people who still has my textbooks from college. Probably very outdated. I'm sure that there are new volumes that have come into play, but I have a ton of resources. I have the DSM-5. I have a what's that thing called? Something healing. I have a healing book. I have my textbooks from the neuroscience program that I'm currently in, because I do everything around mindset and brain matters and how your body is impacted by your brain and your thought process, so forth and so on. I have resources all around me. And if all of those fail, I got the Googler. I will Google something in a heartbeat, or I will ask Siri or my Echo. I won't say her name because she's going to come on if I say her name. But I will tap into my resources to gain more knowledge so that I can have a clearer perspective about whatever the challenge is. So tap into your resources and don't be afraid to say, I don't know what I don't know. All of those people who walk around acting like they know it all have even more challenges because they won't be flexible and tap into resources to learn more information. Don't be one of those people. It doesn't serve you. And what will happen as a result is your challenge will then turn into a problem. Now, next week, we're going to talk about a problem. It requires a whole lot more time, a whole lot more effort, a whole lot more energy. I like to avoid problems at all costs. If I can address an issue when it's an issue, or if I can overcome a challenge when it's a challenge, I keep it from becoming a problem that I now have to solve or resolve. That is always my preference. I want minimal problems in my life. And I know you do too. So next week, we're going to talk about how to tackle a problem, understanding what a problem is, and how to be able to solve and or resolve it, because problems typically involve other people. So it requires more peopling. That's a word I made up. I know peopling is not a real verb, but I made it up. It's a word I use. So at any rate, that's it for this week's Microburst. Did I keep it under 10 minutes? I don't know because I don't know. I didn't. Dang it. Okay, I'm working on it. I'm still under 15 minutes though. So tune in next week. If you missed any of the previous ones, go back and watch them because all of them tie together and are working for the same common goal, which is providing microbursts of knowledge for you all. Until next week, have an amazing day. Make today better than yesterday. Strive for an even better tomorrow because mindset is everything. You all take care and